Hello. Good morning. Happy Friday. Guys, we made it. I am Ella Dorsey, and this is your Friday edition of Weather Where You Are. I did this on Wednesday, but the sound wasn't on. I was muted the whole time, so we're doing it again because it's important, okay? I did a lot of research for this. I'm really excited to share this information with you guys. Just because the weather's going to be so quiet here and has been all week, I started to look up a winter forecast. I know as we head towards the cooler months, you guys want to know, is it going to be cold? Are we going to get snow? And so, look below me. You see below El Nino in this upcoming winter. I'm sure you guys have heard of El Nino. It is an oceanic pattern in the Pacific Ocean, and it has a major impact on the jet stream and therefore has a major impact on the United States weather, especially in winter, in the cooler months. So I'm going to explain to you what El Nino is, and then we're going to talk about the last time that we went into an El Nino, kind of similar years in the past to this year, and what happened in the winter of those years. And based on that research that I've done, we will talk about what I think is going to happen for this upcoming winter. Okay? Exciting stuff. All right, let's get you started with what El Nino is. Okay, El Nino is an oceanic pattern. So basically, we have the winds, right? Here in the United States, all weather flows from west to east because the winds flow from west to east. They're called the westerlies. But down in the southern hemisphere, the winds actually flow the opposite direction. They go from east to west. They're called the trade winds. That easterly wind pushes warm water across the Pacific, and it usually pools off of the coast of Australia in the western Pacific, okay? But during El Nino, the trade winds weaken, and that warm water moves east, and it becomes pooled off the coast of South America. It can be anywhere from like 4 to 6 degrees warmer in the sea surface temperatures. Just that change in temperatures has a major impact on the jet stream, okay? So it actually causes the jet stream to dip in a way that really impacts our winter weather. It makes it warm, really warmer than average for the upper plains, dry for the Great Lakes, and cool and wet for us here across the south, okay? So usually when we enter into El Nino years, we see cooler than average conditions and wetter than average conditions. So that is just the basic what to expect with El Nino. Now, this year, we came out of a strong La Nina in the beginning of the year and went into a strong El Nino. That's pretty significant. Usually we spend at least a year just kind of in the normal conditions before we switch between the two of them. So I looked in years past at data. What other years did we come out of a strong La Nina and go into a strong El Nino? So let me show you. This is data. Don't get overwhelmed. Okay? This is the data from each of the years over the last, 70 years. The numbers that you see in blue, the negative numbers, those are La Nina years. That's when the ocean is cooler than average. Then you see the years that are in red, those are El Nino years or months where the ocean is warmer than average. And you can see it's done by dates. So it's done December, January, February, March. So it's a 3-month average. And we kind of measure it based on that. So let me show you this year, all the way down to the bottom. You can see that we came out of that La Nina. Last year we were in a very strong La Nina, right? And this year we came out of it, and now in just the last months we're more than a degree Celsius above average. So we're entering into a strong El Nino. So I said, okay, what was the last year that was similar to that? And it was 2009. Okay, I'm highlighting 2009 so you can see we came out of a pretty strong La Nina and into a strong El Nino in the winter. So I took this information. I'm like, okay, let me look back at 2009 winter. Another year that was similar was also 2002. You can see we were in a slight La Nina and went to an El Nino. And then also let's see, 1996, we came into 97, we came out of a La Nina and into an El Nino. But 2009 was by far the year that looks the most similar, okay? So then I looked at the winter of 2009 in Georgia. Guys, it was really cold. It was really cold in December. It was really cold in January. And it was really cold in February. We averaged 7 degrees below average through that time. What does that mean? It means morning lows were in the teens and 20s, and afternoon highs a lot of the time were in the 30s and 40s. Okay, so it was very cold. I took those 3 years that we talked about, 1997, 2002, and 2009, and I analoged the temperature across the United States in the winter months of those years. And let me show you what I found, okay? This is the temperature compared to average in those years that were similar to the El Nino pattern. We were about 2 degrees Celsius, okay? Celsius, so about 4 or 5 degrees below average across the entire South. So all of these things are adding together to make me believe we're going to have a pretty cold winter. And we haven't had a really cold winter since 2015, essentially. Temperatures have been at or above average throughout the winter. So we're due for a cold winter. If I had to guess, I would think it's going to be cold. Also, it's usually pretty wet across the South during El Nino winter. I looked at 2009. We got snow in February. We also got snow in March. We had 2 measurable snowfalls, and that's at the airport, which is south of the city. So it's hard to get measurable snow at the airport. So if I had to guess this year, guys, I think we're going to see a very cold winter that will probably start in mid-December and last through the end of February. And I am betting that we get at least 1 really good snowfall, if not multiple snowfalls. We haven't had an ice event in quite a while. This setup, the cold and the wet, could really bring us, our next big chance at an ice storm as well. So again, really interesting stuff, the way we can look at this data and kind of shape our opinion. Last time I did this was in 2018. I looked at the same exact kind of data and predicted snow in December, which doesn't happen often, and we got like a foot of snow up in Cobb County in December. So numbers don't lie, all right? So although it looks really warm over the next week and pretty dry, we're going to enter into what I would think would be a pretty wet pattern and a pretty cold pattern for winter. Okay, that's the weather where you are for today. Buy your jackets, get your boots out, okay? It's time to prepare for what could be a pretty cold winter because of El Nino. All right, guys, I'll be back on Monday. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. It's going to be beautiful outside. Enjoy it. Okay, bye.